Hi guys, welcome back to another book review. Today we're going to talk about Pen Pal. I know so many people have read this one, so you probably are just going to be like, I read this book. I read this book. I had not read this book. I have had this book. It actually was ferried to me back in October of last year, October 18th. I actually have the little Amazon paper in here. Still, I hold on to that stuff. I know, I'm so weird, but I hold on that. So I have the Amazon paper in here still. And so I was like, when I was reading through it, so I've had it since like I said, October 18th, and I just now got to it. It's just because sometimes I read so many arcs and I need to take a break from the arcs and I get myself burned out, and we can go on to that. Sometimes that can be a deeper discussion, but we're not going to get into that one. Sometimes I burn myself out on arcs. Anyone who's an arc reader knows sometimes it can be really rewarding to be an arc reader, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it can be a very harder thing to do. So sometimes you just have to take a break with that. And I had read some, and I just needed a quick little break from them. And so I had read a couple of books off my shelf. So, and we know I buy books all the time. And unfortunately, I don't always read the books I buy. So I've been trying to sneak a little more of those in and slow down on the arcs. But anyways, and unfortunately, I took a whole bunch of arcs this month again, but it's okay. They've been really good arcs, and I do not regret any of them. They've been so good. But anyways, so let's talk about Pen Pal. I'm going to quit rambling and let's talk about Pen Pal. So this one, I was shocked. Like, anybody who has not read it, you need to read it. And no, I don't have the fancy new one because it was gifted to me in October of last year. That version was not out. I did see that version at Walmart today, and I sat there and I'm like, do I need a second copy of this book just to have the sprayed edges? And I'm like, I sat there and I thought about it. I'm like, no, you do not need that. And so I did not get it. You should be really proud of me. I did not get it. Anyway, so reading this one, I, again, went into it blind, but I had expected this one to be like really, really, really dark. And it kind of was more of like, it's got darker themes in it. Don't get me wrong. It has darker themes. To me, I would more classify this one as a suspense romance. I don't know what it's classified as, but I necessarily would not classify this as a dark romance. I just would classify this as a suspenseful romance with darker themes. I really, really was into this one. Like, I'm going to tell you when the plot twist when it happens, like, I did not see that coming like a mile away. Like, I was even starting to question things that were happening. I'm like, maybe it's really this guy, or maybe she's really crazy and having like a nervous breakdown, or maybe this and this. Like, I was totally having like all these other reasons why this was happening, and maybe this blank, like I totally was coming up with other reasons why what was going on was what was going on. So when this one throws its plot twist at you, my brain just went poof. And so then I got a little bit like it was a little emotional, like, and a lot of people cried and got really emotional over it. This one didn't really get me super emotional on this one. I didn't get like overly emotional. Like, I know some people cried and they got really emotional. I didn't get overly emotional on this one. I just like, oh my God, this is so good. This is so crazy. Like, I was totally hooked into it and like just really wrapped up into the story and just thought it was really great. Again, I would classify this one as a suspenseful romance. Quick overview is a woman's husband, she dies, she's mourning him. Her house starts things happening. She's getting letters from some man in prison. He's writing her letters and she's writing back, and some creepy stuff is going on in her house. She's seeing some man watching her and she doesn't know who he is, and there's just creepy stuff happening in her house and she doesn't know why. And so that's kind of what's going on, and it kind of unfolds through that way. And she's, you kind of got, I don't want to give anything more than that. So that's all I'm going to give you because I don't want to give away no more. So like I said, this one, I really liked it. It was kind of crazy to me. Like, I really just enjoyed this one. Like, I know everybody's going to talk about it. I've seen people, either they love it or they hate it. That's just the best one I've seen on this one. You either love it or you hate it. To me, again, it was not dark in the slightest. It just had some darker themes towards the end. I really thought it was cool. I think maybe people were not a fan of it just because of the plot twist and how it does work out. Maybe they were not, if they're not into kind of a paranormally kind of feel to things, that they would not be comfortable with that, because it kind of does have a little bit of a paranormal feel to it. So maybe I'm going to add that in. Make sure if you like suspenseful romance, make sure you're okay with a little bit of paranormal stuff, or you may not be okay with this one. If you think you're like, oh, I hate paranormal stuff, then you might not be a fan of this one, and that might be why some people hate it. Because, like I said, I couldn't figure out why some people hate it. Anyways, so I really liked this one. To me, I think it moved at a decent pace. I really liked it. I liked the characters. Spicy, super, super spicy. I'm just gonna say that right now. Super, 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 super spicy. The spice in it is not overly, you know, crazy. It's a little bit on the more fun side, a little bit on the more darker romance side we would expect for darker romance, but not overly on that floor. It's kind of like dipping its little toe into that scene, so maybe that's why it does get labeled as darker romance. But I thought it was great. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Maybe it's like a baby dark romance. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just rambling now trying to like figure out how it's labeled. Anyways, this one was really good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the way the book unfolded. I really enjoyed the twist at the end that I did not see coming. And I have talked to other people about this book and they totally did not see the plot twist coming. So if you would like a suspenseful romance with a twist of paranormal in it and some really crazy stuff going on, then I definitely would check this one out because I loved this one and I think you might too.